Hello and welcome back to our YouTube channel called My Project Ideas. And in this particular program, we will look at how we can create a simple calculator which would do plus, minus, division, and multiplication. So these are the four operands that we will try to create with our simple calculator. For this program as well, we will try to use some GUI. So we will be using the Swing framework of Java here to create several buttons and to make it more interactive with the user. So since we're using String, we will start off with importing all the various library classes of Swing that we will need for the GUI of this program. Now we move on to our main class. So we have our class which extends the JFrame and implements the action listener. We are extending the JFrame because we will need the JFrame to basically create our entire user interface. And we are implementing the action listener class because we would like to functionalize each of the buttons such that whenever we click on some button, we have some kind of functions. For example, if we click on the multiplication button, for example, we should have the multiplication result of two various operands. So as you can see, we start off with the class where we have our JFrame called F. And we have a text field called L. This text field is essentially going to serve as the calculator display, basically you can say. So whenever you type something, you will be able to see what you're typing, and you will also be able to see the final result that you get after using the calculator. So this will be our display. And we will have three variables, string variables, where you can think of it as some particular digit times some operator times another digit. So 1 plus 2, or 2 times 3, or 3 divided by 1. So something like that. So these are the three string variables that we will use. Now, if you see the default constructor of this class, we see that we initialize all the three string variables that we had chosen to a blank value, for example. Now we move on to our main class. And in our main class, the first thing that we'll do is we will set our new frame because we will have to align all of the different components. And we will call our frame calculator. The name of a frame will be F. So here's basically a try-catch block, which deals with the user interface manager. For the sake of this program, we can actually avoid it to understand more about the calculator in itself rather than the UI manager here. So here we make an object of the class. So we make an object of the calculator class called C, and we will be using this C class to kind of make our whole program now. Okay, so we had the text field on top. We will be initializing a text field L, and we will be putting in so this will be the size of the text field. So how long will the text field be in our user interface? And we will also set the text field to not be editable, because we would essentially not want someone else to come and put in some values such that our program would give a wrong output. So we would set the set editable function to false here. Here we move on to the various buttons that we will use. So as you can see from a simple calculator that you use, that we will have several buttons. So from 0 to 9, we will have all of the different digits. We will have a button for addition. We will have a button for subtraction. We will have a button for division and multiplication. We will also have a button E, and E referred to as a floating point number. We will have a button BEQ. BEQ will basically be the button for clear, as you can see here, clear. And we will also have another button called BEQ1, and this is simply the equals to button. So when we press this, we will get the output of our result. We are just simply creating all of the buttons, and we are just naming them according to the digits. We're naming here the different operators, the clear button, and we also have the floating point button here that we would like to create. For example, if you want to go to numbers like 1.2 or 5.6, so you have this button that you can use. We make our panel here, and then we just simply add. Since we want to functionalize all of the buttons here, so we will add an action listener to every button here, and we would pass C, which is the object that we created here, as an argument to the function add action listener here. Finally, we will add all the buttons that we created into our panel. So it's p.add, and we add the components. And here the components are here. This is the text field. These are the buttons, the operators, and so on and so forth. We set the color to blue, and we add the panel to the frame. So so F was our J frame here. We set the size to 200 by 220, and we set it to show such that we can now, so when we run only this part of the program, we can see the whole GUI structure here. Now moving on to functionalizing the buttons and basically forming the whole calculation part of our calculator. First, so this is the function that will do it. So this function is called action performed, and we will pass the action event. So this action event will be whenever we click on the button. Here we have a flag variable s of string type, and this variable will actually contain the button that you press. So it will be triggered on every action command. Now we will see the value of s. So we will check for s. If s is a number, we will have this if statement here. So if you have s.caret at 0 greater than or equal to 0 and s.caret at 0 less than or equal to 9. So if s is a number here basically, or if we have a point here instead of a number, then we will enter this if statement here. Here on, if we have if s1 is not equals to 0, then we will add the value of s to s2 here. If it is equals to 0, then we'll add the value of s to s0 here. So if you remember from here, s0 and s2 were the two operands, and we had an s1 here that was the operator basically. Finally, we will set the value of the text to s0 plus s1 plus s2. So this is just something that we will show on the display of our calculator. Here we had this if statement if the value was a number. Now if you go on to if the value is not a number, for example, if it is C, so C means clear, so we should essentially be clearing everything. So whenever we press C, you see S0, S1, and S2 gets cleared to a space or a blank value basically. And we will again have this common statement here as set text, where we will again set our display to S0 plus S1 plus S2. Since the clear function has no value essentially, so when we do this, we will have nothing on our calculator display. Now, if we move on to, if for example we click on one of the operator buttons, for example, so a plus, minus, or a division or a multiplication button, then so again we will be initializing another local variable inside this else if block. And if the button that we pressed matches plus, then we will basically parse double S0, parse double S2, and then add both of them together and store it into this local variable. If it is minus, we will do the same thing, but we will subtract one number from the other and store it inside the local variable. If we have a division, we'll do the same. If you have a multiplication, we'll do the same. So now our final value, that is the final result, is stored in TE, which is a local variable here, and we would want to show this or print it out along with the entire expression here. So there's a reason why we add an equal to here, and then we also add TE alongside our operator one, operand, operator, and operand. Finally, once we are done with this, we would like to store this value into S0. So this will again become our starting operator. So our S0 will be our starting operand. So for example, why we do this step is essentially because sometimes in calculators we want an ongoing process. For example, if we do 1 plus 2 and we get a 3, now we do not want to again type in 3 because we already have 3 stored here. So we just simply do plus 4. So we should ideally be getting 7. And that 3 or whatever this T value will be stored in S0 here. And we will clear S1 and S2 because we would like to enter some new functions here. Now, for example, so we had this entire else if block if we had some operator. Now if you do not have any operand, so we just have some blank and blank variables for S1 and S2. We would just simply store the value of S into S1. Now, for example, so this will again move on to the second part here. So after we do one operation, if you again try to make another calculation here, you will again have a local variable, and if the value that we entered was plus, then we would store these two inside the local variable te. If not, if subtraction, we will subtract one from the other. If it's a division, we'll do the same, and multiplication, we'll also do the same and store it here. Now from here, we would so we want to finally show our value in a form which is not string. So we would convert te into double, and we would store it into S0. We would place the operator here. So we would store the value of S into S1, and we would make the operand S2, which is we set it to blank. Finally, we would again like to set our calculator display, as I'd mentioned before. So we'd set text to S0 plus S1 plus S2, and this would essentially serve as our calculator display. So I know it's a bit long, this code, but then this code works efficiently for any of the calculations which involve multiplication, subtraction, division, and addition. Let's see if we can compile this code. We compile it. Yes, it compiles properly. Now let me try to run it. Yeah. So this, as you can see, this is our calculator interface that we had created using Swing, where we have, so this is the calculator display. If I bring it down, yeah, this looks like a perfect calculator. So this is the display or the text field that we had set to false editable. So that means we cannot edit it here. So we cannot edit any value here. We have the buttons for the various operands, and then we have all the operators here, all the different digits. We have the point here, we have 0 here, and we have C, which is clear. And we have the equal to button right below. So whenever we do some value and we press equal to, we should expect that our calculator gives us some kind of an output. So let's try with a simple addition first. 1 plus 2, I press equal to. Okay, I get 3. That's good. I clear it down. 7 times 99, and I get 693. Now if I try to do something times 693, so if I do 693 divided by 9, so you see, I did not type 693 once again, because this value was stored from the last iteration, so it just gets carried on and onto our next operation here. And you see, we get our value of 77 here. So I hope you like this simple calculator using Java with the Swing framework. If you are interested in knowing more about various different Java programs, please make sure to like and share this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We hope to see you in our next video soon. Thank you so much for watching.